The first time he corrected the way I folded towels, I thought it was funny. By the third year of our marriage, I folded them the way he liked without thinking. Our house was quiet in a careful way. Not peaceful, calibrated. I could tell what kind of evening it would be by how hard he set his keys on the counter, by whether he sighed before or after taking off his shoes. I became good at predicting weather that never appeared on a forecast. When our daughter turned 4, I started teaching her small games. If mommy squeezes your hand twice, you go to your room. If mommy says the word blue when nothing is blue, you call grandpa and say the line we practiced. It felt dramatic. I almost laughed at myself for it, but I taught her anyway. The night my leg broke, it was over something small enough that I can't even remember it clearly, a bill paid late. Or maybe I answered him while he was still speaking. He didn't yell first. That's the part people don't expect. His hand was in my hair before I understood the shift. It wasn't rage, it was control. He pulled and I lost my balance. I remember the angle of the coffee table, the edge of it catching me, the sound inside my body that didn't belong there, a crack that felt private. The pain came slowly, like heat rising under skin. Our daughter was standing in the hallway, frozen. He let go of my hair. He looked down at me the way you look at something you've dropped and broken accidentally, annoyed more than concerned. "You're being dramatic," he said. I tried to move and couldn't. The room tilted. My leg wasn't positioned like a leg should be. I didn't scream. I looked at my daughter and said, very evenly, blue. Her face changed, not to panic, to memory. She walked to the side table where my phone was charging. My husband was pacing, muttering about how I'd slipped. How this would be embarrassing if anyone found out he didn't see her. Or he didn't think she mattered in that moment. She dialed. "Grandpa," she said, voice small but steady. "Mom looks like she's going to die." There was a pause. Then she repeated it exactly as we practiced. He noticed the phone only after she hung up. "Who were you calling?" he asked. She looked at me. I kept my face neutral, probably one of her games. He took my phone and put it in his pocket. He locked the front door. He told me to calm down, but something had already left the room. Headlights filled the living room 10 minutes later. My father doesn't drive fast anymore, but that night he did. His knock wasn't polite, it was deliberate, loud enough that the neighbors' porch lights blinked on one by one. My husband froze. "Open the door." My father's voice carried through the wood, not shouting, just carrying. My husband hesitated long enough that the second set of lights arrived. A police cruiser. I hadn't called them. My father had. The knock changed. Official, unmistakable. Control evaporated in the space between those two sounds. The door opened. I remember the officer kneeling beside me, asking what happened. I remember my husband starting to answer for me, and the officer holding up a hand without looking at him. "Sir, I'm speaking to her." It was such a small sentence, but it split something open. At the hospital, they confirmed the fracture. They took photographs. They asked if I felt safe going home. For the first time, I didn't minimize. "No," I said. My husband spent that night somewhere that wasn't our house. The days after were quieter than I expected. No dramatic confrontations, no screaming voicemails. His apologies came through a lawyer, carefully worded, suggesting stress, suggesting misunderstanding. My father didn't tell me what to do. He placed papers in front of me at the kitchen table of his house, restraining order forms, temporary custody filings. He made coffee. He let me decide. I felt guilty signing them, guilty for exposing him, guilty for disrupting my daughter's routine, guilty for confirming that the games hadn't been paranoia. But when the temporary order was granted, when the judge's signature made it official that he could not come near us, I felt something else. Space. Power didn't return to me in a dramatic rush. It returned in small administrative ways, changing the locks, opening my own bank account, scheduling physical therapy, answering emails without checking if my tone would irritate someone. My daughter asked one night, as she sat beside my cast on the couch, "Is Grandpa the secret hero?" I thought about it. Grandpa had come. The police had come. Authority had been visible and undeniable. But the real shift had happened earlier, when I created the signal, when I taught her to use it, when I said the word instead of protecting his image. The hero, I told her carefully, there's knowing what to do when something isn't safe. We live in a small apartment now. It's not perfect. The walls are thin. My leg aches when it rains. She still calls Grandpa sometimes. But now it's to tell him about her drawings. Or to say goodnight. The cycle didn't explode. It was interrupted, quietly. And that quiet is the first real peace I've ever known.